Hey, Damian Mason coming at you with some agricultural outlook and a warning about a threat to the United States of America's agricultural prowess, possibly even our food supply, as presented by U.S. Senator Cory Booker. What am I talking about? Well, Cory Booker is now on the Senate Ag Committee, and he's wasting no time in pushing through his agenda. 1 year ago, he teamed up with Elizabeth Warren, the senator from Massachusetts, and introduced a bill that did not get enacted because we got so busy operating with COVID that it never came up. But it sought to limit farm size and do various other changes to our fundamental business of agriculture model here in this United States of America, the best fed and most productive agricultural country on earth, I might add. Last month, Cory Booker teamed up with a tremendous amount of strength with his other Senate colleagues. He has now Elizabeth Warren, he has a senator from Minnesota, he has Senator Leahy from Vermont, and he has the new senator from Georgia, Warnock, co-sponsoring his bill, the Justice for Black Farmers Act, which seeks, it says, to reform the United States Department of Agriculture. But it seeks to do a great deal more than that. And this is where there could be damage to our country, damage to our agricultural system, and even threats to our food supply. Mr. Booker talks in the very lead-off sentence of his PR piece you can find on his website that in 1920 there were nearly 1 million black farmers in the United States. But today, due to this history of discrimination, it is estimated there are less than 50,000 black farmers. Truth is, there are about 45,000 black farmers. Of the 3.3 million farmers in the United States of America, there's about 3.4 million. 45,000 of them are black. They tend to be smaller scale operators in the mid-Atlantic and the Southeast. But here's the thing that they didn't tell you. Since 1920, we've also decreased the number of white farmers, almost as significantly. We had, according to my research that I did in my book, Food Fear, we had in the 1920s and 30s, 32 million farmers on about 7 million farms. Today, there are 2 million farms with about 3.3 to 3.4 million farmers. In other words, the white farm population has decreased by over 90%, and the black farm population has decreased by about 95%. Really not statistically all that different. But when you're trying to push your own agenda as a vegan radical with a big idea about how we need to shake up American agriculture, as Cory Booker seeks to do, why let those statistics and facts get in the way? Here's where it's troubling for our long-term food supply as well as what we do in production agriculture. This bill seeks to, among other things, restore the land base lost by black farmers. And what they call for here is to acquire farmland through the U.S. Department of Agriculture, acquire it, and then grant that for free up to 160 acres to existing or aspiring black farmers. Then they would also support those black farmers and their return to the land through operating loans, mortgages, and other monies at favorable terms. You can find all this, by the way, by going to Cory Booker. Just Google Cory Booker and call it the Justice for Black Farmers Act, and you can see these very pages. I find this to be frightening, and you're saying, Damian, why? Well, first off, who pays for all of that land? You do. Where does that land come from? We have about 350 million cropland acres here in the United States of America, which produces such bounty, such amazing amounts of food. But you know what? It's already owned. Are they going to take it at gunpoint from landowners like me in Indiana? Or are they going to use USDA monies to bid up the price? Because why would I sell? I'm not interested in selling my land. Oh, if I was offered double market price, of course I'd be economically incentivized to do so. Is that how we're going to acquire this land? In other words, is it going to be acquired through the free market, but also through bolstering the offer price? Or is it going to be done at gunpoint? Oh, Damian, you sound crazy. Well, I've never heard of such a thing where we're talking about giving away millions and millions of acres to people who aren't farmers right now to make up for something that allegedly happened over the course of the United States Department of Agriculture's history. The department has been in place since the 1860s. I can say that I've only been dealing with the USDA since about the year 2000, and I've seen nothing other than above-the-board tremendous treatment on their behalf. Damian, you said this might affect us long-term for our food supply. Countries like Venezuela, communist nations such as the former Soviet Union have done collectivized farming. We have seen this experiment before by left-leaning politicians that want to get more power or maybe peddled to a certain fan base. We've seen it through communist countries, like I said, the collectivized system in the United States, in the USSR, where agriculture was never efficient, never productive, because land was taken from landowners and put into the collective. We could see it be even worse. It could become violent, like in South Africa. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in South Africa, through the last 20 or so years, there's been a lot of tremendous political upheaval, and now white farmers are under duress. In fact, white farmers are being threatened. They are oftentimes murdered because they own land. Where does this go? We hope to goodness not like South Africa, but it will impact what happens in rural America in terms of your productivity. It will impact the economics. You will either pay for this, or you'll see, shall we say, two wrongs to make a right. I'm Damian Mason. I'm the author of Food Fear, a book about the business of agriculture, and the Do Business Better book, which is a book about small business. If you'd like to see more of my stuff, you can go to DamianMason.com. You can check out my podcast. But this is to be concerned about. This is something that you should be concerned about. When the government picks and chooses who is going to operate the land and does so through the heavy-handed force of the government, you will see an impact on what happens in productivity. You will see issues of lack of productivity. You will see, like we saw under Venezuelan rule or under the collective, a lack of incentive to produce. This is not good for America's future. It's not good for America's agricultural prowess. Stay tuned, and please do your reading and check out Mr. Booker's Justice for the Black Farmers Act and see what might be coming to a county road near you.